Welcome to Gemara Academy. In this class, we will learn Taisis Dibra Maschel, the Rabbi Kiva Savar Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet. Let's begin by looking at the flowchart of the Gemara so we can better understand what Taisis is coming to explain. So here in the Gemara, we presented two possible ways of understanding the machlekes between Rabbi Kiva and the Rabbanon. Rabbi Kiva and the Rabbanon argue in a case where an individual threw an item from one Rishus HaYachid to another Rishus HaYachid, and it passed through a Rishus HaRabim. So in the second way of understanding the machlekes, we said that they're arguing in a case where the person threw the item in a height of above 10 tfachim. And the argument is, Rabbi Kiva holds Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet. We learn Zerik from Meshet. We say that just like Meshet, if a person passed the item from one Rishus HaYachid to another Rishus HaYachid over Rishus HaRabim and a height above 10 tfachim, he's chayiv, because that was done in the Mishkan. So Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet, we learn Zerik from Meshet. Just like Meshet passing is chayiv, Zerik throwing is also chayiv. And the Rabbanan hold Lo Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet. We do not learn throwing from passing. Passing was done in the Mishkan, and therefore passing is chayiv. However, Zerik was not done in the Mishkan, and Zerik is not chayiv. So that's the part of the Gemara, this way of understanding the machlekes between Rabbi Kiva and the Rabbanan, that they're arguing above 10 tfachim, and Rabbi Kiva holds Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet, and the Rabbanan says we don't. That's the part of the Gemara that Tosfos is going to be explaining. So let's see the general outline of Tosfos. In this second way of understanding the machlekes between Rabbi Kiva and the Rabbanan, it comes out that Rabbi Kiva holds Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet. We learn Zerik from Meshet, and that's what Tosfos is going to focus on. And Tosfos is going to ask, how is it that Rabbi Kiva can hold such a thing, that Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet? We're going to show that it seems that this opinion is not an acceptable opinion. Let's see Tosfos now in the flowchart form. So in the second way of understanding the machlekes, we said that Rabbi Kiva will hold Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet. We learn throwing from passing. Passing Meshet was done in the Mishkan. It's chayiv, so Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet, Zerik throwing is also chayiv. Asks Tosfos. This is a question. He doesn't actually present the question immediately. He first will present the background information, which supports the question, and then present the question itself. So Tosfos starts off with Im Tamer. There's a question over here. One can ask. And before presenting the question, he presents the background information. So we have an arrow pointing upwards because it's completing the point that there's a question, and also leading into the actual question itself. So the background for the question, what supports the question, is to establish that throwing was not actually done in the Mishkan. How do we know that throwing wasn't done in the Mishkan? We have two different places that we see this from. Number one, if throwing was done in the Mishkan, Rabbi Kiva would not say Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet. We learn Zerik from Meshet. Just like Meshet's chayiv, so too is Zerik. He would just say Zerik is chayiv because it was done in the Mishkan. We wouldn't have to learn it from Meshet. The second proof is, if throwing was in the Mishkan, then the Rabbanan would agree that it's chayiv. So clearly throwing was not in the Mishkan. That being the case, this brings up a question. And the question is, on Daf Beis Amud Aleph, Tosfos explained to us that it says a malacha grua. Carrying is a weak malacha. And as a result, even to be classified as a tulda, it's not enough that the tulda is similar to the av. In general, if we have an av, anything similar to av is classified as a tulda and will also be chayiv. However, by hitzah, carrying, since it's a weak malacha, it's not enough to be qualified as a tulda through just being similar to the av. Rather, Tosfos said one of three requirements has to be met. Either it has to be actually found in the Mishkan in order to be a tulda. Number two, the other option is that it should be halacha l'Moshe Sinai, that it's a tulda. And number three, it has to be exactly like the av. It can't just be similar to it. And that being the case, how can Rabbi Kiva say Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet? We learned Zerik from Meshet. It doesn't seem that Zerik fulfills any of the three requirements. It has to have one of them. It doesn't seem to have any of them. It wasn't done in the Mishkan like we just established. It's not halacha l'Moshe Sinai, and it doesn't seem to be exactly like passing. It's similar to it, but not exactly like it. And Tosfos answers, very simple answer. Rabbi Kiva holds that throwing is actually exactly like passing. When we say Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet, the reason is because Zerik is exactly like Meshet. And like Tosfos said earlier, that the third option, in order to qualify as a tulda of Eitzah, it has to be exactly like the av. And the example that we used then was Hachnasa. Hachnasa and Eitzah are exactly the same. The only difference is the direction the item is being carried. Is it Eitzah from Rishus HaYachid to the Rishus HaRabim, or is it Hachnasa from the Rishus HaRabim to the Rishus HaYachid? And Tosfos says that Rabbi Kiva is of the opinion, obviously, that Zerik and Meshet are exactly the same, and as a result, Rabbi Kiva holds Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet. We do learn Zerik from Meshet. So just to summarize the Tosfos asked, how can we say Yalfinon Zerik Mimeshet? It doesn't seem like that's enough, just that they're similar. because we explained previously that it has to actually be exactly the same, or halacha l'meishem Sinai, or found in the Mishkan in order to qualify as a Tulda of Eitzah. And Tosfos answers that Rabbi Kiva holds that it does qualify the third option, which is it's exactly the same.